How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome to a special fantasy draft challenge here at NHL 25. As today we'll be doing an alliteration fantasy draft, necessitating us to draft players that have first and last names that start with the same letter. I've been desperate to get into some franchise mode content here in NHL 25, but I'm still waiting for the new EA rosters to come out so that once I have that as a base, I can actually make my own changes to them. But when are those going to come? I'm not sure, and I am just itching to get started on our first franchise mode series. Until then, let's get started with a little bit of something. We went through the deep dive of franchise mode, went through the entire roster overview. Now we'll do a little fantasy draft challenge based on a suggestion that came from Hobbsy. So, random team here. I'm not looking at the screen. My eyes are closed. You'll have to trust me, and I will stop. And Columbus Blue Jackets. All right, very nice. Let's try and get a cup of Columbus Blue Jackets here with a fantasy draft where we'll be doing an alliteration challenge. Think, Kirill Kaprizov, Charlie Coyle, Vitek Vanacek. I don't know why he came to my mind. So owner mode off, obviously. Fantasy draft on. Salary cap off. Trades off. Morale off. Fog of war off. Head coach edge lines, don't really care. Auto staff, auto, not really important. Continue. Injuries will be turned off as well. Okay, those settings are good to go, and we'll get started here on the fantasy draft. Now, the question will be, where are we selecting? Let's see, we'll randomize it, let's say 5 times, and we'll go from there. So right now it gives us, where are we? 23. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6, okay, 6th selection. That should be someone like a Kirill Kaprizov, probably, most likely will be Kirill Kaprizov, I don't know, Steven Stamkos, guys like that. We'll see who comes our way. So, first few picks, you got AM, Austin Matthews, CM, Connor McDavid. So here I pick number 6. Let's see who comes our way. The first one, we'll usually go with whoever stands out the most. So Kirill Kaprizov is the one that probably stands out the most for our first selection. After that, if it comes down to 2 of them, then we can go by position. But aside from that, it'll usually be best player available. So like Mitch Marner would be another one. But we'll go for Kaprizov as our first selection as a 93 overall. Perfect. Kirill, welcome to Columbus. There we go, the first selection of this fantasy draft challenge. Let me know what challenge you want to see next, as we're still kind of just killing some time waiting for franchise mode to get started. Philip Forsberg, that could be, and here, back-to-back. Steven Stamkos, back-to-back. Now, we just got our first line left winger, so as much as I love Philip Forsberg, I think Steven Stamkos would be the guy. Who are the big goalies that would fit our bill? I'm not sure if there are many out here, actually. Could Vitek Vanacek be the highest? Stuart Skinner. So Skinner should be the guy we go after sooner rather than later. Because then before you know it, yeah, you're into the Vitek Vanaceks. Exactly, yeah. Okay, so Stuart Skinner will be who we target. But for now, let's get our first-line centerman, because I'm not sure if there's that many who could be a first-line center. After Stamkos... Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Steven Stamkos, welcome to Columbus. You'll play first line with Kirill Kaprizov. I think that's a pretty solid duo up there. Oh, so Philip Forsberg's still here, actually. Can we play one of them on the right wing, or should we go after a defenseman? Who stands out on defense? Drew Doughty, but he is older, so maybe he could drop a little bit more. Drew Doughty could be first pair. Even Bowen Byram. Mike Matheson. Oh, you know what? There's more than I thought there would be. I thought it was going to be I'm sure it'll still be a tough challenge, but I thought it was really going to be tough to get high-end talent. So let's go Philip Forsberg to close out the first line, and we'll try to go defense for this next one, whether it be Matheson or Doughty, and then, Doughty's still there, and then we go after goal, unless Skinner's already gone, but now Skinner's still there. Let's try and risk it, because we need that good first pair D-man. Matheson's still out there, but Drew Doughty simulates quite well usually, so Drew Doughty, DD, will go next. All right, now our next selection coming up. Do we still have Stuart Skinner out here? Because I think now is where it's a long time between picks. So yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, but I don't want to be stuck with a 70-some overall or like an 82 in Vanacek to be my starter. So Stuart Skinner, welcome to Columbus, next member of this challenge. Lovely. Again, we have our first line. We have only one defenseman, though. Did Mike Matheson already go? No, he's there. I see Mike Matheson. Anyone else on defense? Brent Burns. Okay. But we have the right side, so he would be the left side. Yeah, Mike Matheson to be on that top pair on the left. All right, Mike Matheson. Now we got to start thinking about the bottom 9. Second line. So Tyler Toffoli, there's one. Ryan, not O'Reilly, not Ryan Riley. Ryan O'Reilly. The Irish added in the O. No. Charlie Coyle could be second line center, but we could wait on him. So next up will be the wing, and we'll go to Tyler Toffoli, second line winger. I wonder if Charlie Coyle would still be here for second line center. If we scroll just by forwards and defense. Yeah, he's still there. Charlie Coyle. We don't want to scroll too Mason Marchment. Interesting. I don't want to scroll too far. I want to go mostly best player available. Dylan DeMello. Yeah, let's go for Charlie Coyle, second line center, because we got to have somebody who's solid for those big top 6 minutes. Charlie Coyle right there. Next up, Brent Burns is still there for the second pair defense. We could start thinking about that. We do have 2 forwards. We have 5 forwards out of our top 6. So yeah, let's go for Brent Burns. He might still be a little bit longer. At the age of 39, I bet he'd stick a little bit. But I don't want to miss out on any solid alliterative players. I don't know, I hope I'm not missing anybody as I scroll through these kind of quickly. Who is up next? Brendan Dillon? No. Dylan DeMello would be the next one. Is he on the left side? Because Burns is on the right side. No, he's also on the right side. We could play him on the left, but he's on the right side. And Nino Niederreiter. That could be second line right wing. Yeah, that's possible. Rickard Raquel. So Raquel or Niederreiter might be next. But maybe right now we go DeMello? Probably, yeah. So you know what? It does drop pretty quickly, eh? Eesh. So I'm glad we got some high-end talent, but it does feel as though it starts to dry up kind of quickly. So Dylan DeMello will be up next here. A lot of good defense we got to pass on. And these guys would still be there later, but we got to take somebody now. So Dylan DeMello. Next up. So that's our top 6 completed now once we take someone right here. We said Niederreiter or Raquel. Niederreiter or Raquel. Who sims better, Mike? I'm trying to think of it in NHL 24 language. Niederreiter, they both have the 4-star shooting. Niederreiter, better puck skills, better passing for Raquel, though. Yeah, both have their pluses and their positives and negatives. I feel like Niederreiter is like a staple for expansion drafts and fantasy drafts. So let's go a bit off the board and give me a little Rickard. Let's go Rickard on the board to even out the top 6. So top 6, top 4 D is done, starting goalie is done. So we got the major ones out of the way. Now we move on to the bottom 6 and last pair D and the backup goalie. So already we're almost done here. Moves pretty quickly. But who will be next? Whew, there is nobody. Might actually go to Niederreiter. We could go Niederreiter for the third line. Wouldn't be a bad idea because no one else is out here, it looks like. Yikes. Parents didn't want to name their kids differently here. So Connor Clifton could be on defense. So I'll probably take him later. So first pick will be Niederreiter. Then Connor Clifton for the third pair D. Next selection up here. Connor. Let's go defense. I don't know, is alliteration that common? I wonder what the stat is globally for alliterative names. There he is, Connor Clifton. Welcome aboard. Mostly forwards we need now. Only one more defenseman because injuries will be turned off. So really it's more the forwards we got to look at. But it's not like anyone that we take now wouldn't be there the next pick because now we are really having to scroll, unfortunately. Thomas Tatar, of course. No question. Pas de question pour Thomas Tatar. Bienvenue à l'équipe. Let's keep on scrolling back to forwards again. So that's the third line. We need a center. Third line center we would need here. So now we're going by position. Please tell me there's like an 82, 83 overall alliterative third line center waiting for us right here. Lars Zeller. Athanasiou. Any other 81s? May as well go. Sam Steele at 80. All right, Athanasiou. Welcome. Third line center. Not ideal, but so it will end up being quite a little bit of a challenge. The top line's very good, but aside from that, there are some positions that aren't super solid. Backup goalie, do we go Vanacek now? Is it time for Vitek? And there he is, Vitek Vanacek. I don't think anybody else is alliterative. And if we don't take him, who else would it be? Jonas Johansson, maybe? Okay, so we could wait a little bit longer. Let's start building the fourth line for our forwards. We did see Sam Steele. Anybody else before or after Sam Steele? Kasperi Kapanen, okay. Casey Cizikas. Cizikas could also be third line center, and Athanasiou could be somewhere in there too. Yeah, I like Cizikas. Let's get Cizikas in here. Casey Cizikas for bottom 6 center somewhere in there, whether it be third or fourth line. Okay, we'll take Sam Steele after, but the first pick here will be Kasperi Kapanen. Welcome to the team. There you go. So is that just one more forward we need now? So that's 4, 8. Yeah, so we need one more winger or center, depends because the Athanasiou could probably get. I don't know. One more forward, one more defense, and then the backup goalie, of course. Any defenseman here for that last spot? We waited on defense for a little bit now. Anyone who we can just snatch up with the last one? Getting a little dicey. Jack Johnson at an 80 overall. Okay. Yeah, okay. Rasmus Ristolainen, our dear beloved son Rasmus Ristolainen with the elite potential. Yeah, we got to do Rasmus. There you go, our dear beloved son, channel favorite, Rasmus Ristolainen to finish off the top 6D. Then we'll go to backup goalie and get Vitek Vanacek. If he's still there. No, he's not. That's okay, though. We had factored that in with Jonas Johansson, thankfully. So I'll go forward, actually, to take Sam Steele, if these menus could load. Thank you. Actually, I think Sam Steele got taken. Yikes. So the next up would be Keegan Kolesar. KK, there you go. Keegan Kolesar to finish off the fourth line for us as one of the rare grinders still in NHL 25. And we'll close it out with the backup goalie, who is likely going to be Jonas Johansson. Yeah. Jonas Johansson, welcome aboard. 80 overall backup. That's all right. And there it is. So the rest of the draft will just be auto-drafted because it doesn't matter with injuries turned off. Sim entire draft. Perfect. Now let's see how the lines look to actually begin our challenge in the year of simulation. All right, so here's how our alliterative squad looks to begin our challenge. Kaprizov, Stamkos, and you know what? We'll try Toffoli on the top line, since you know what? It works to balance the top 6 a little bit. So the second line can be Forsberg, Coyle, and Raquel getting the +1, while the first line gets the +5. Not a great coach, unfortunately. You'll see the defensive chemistry, but it's an A+ coach. I'm not really going to go crazy bending over backwards for coach chemistry in a franchise mode challenge. Third line, Niederreiter, Cizikas, and Tatar. On the fourth line, Kapanen, Athanasiou, and Kolesar. On defense, unfortunately, -2 between Matheson and Doughty. Second pair with the +2, though, Burns and DeMello. And the third pair, Clifton with Ristolainen. Goaltending, it's Skinner, backed up by Johansson, and this will be our squad. Injuries turned off. Best lines for everything, except for just me tweaking a little bit with the even strength chemistry. So let's go ahead and watch the season opener in the slow sim, and then we'll get through some calendar simulation and check in at the halfway point. So the first step in our challenge comes against the Minnesota Wild. I love the matchup screen here. You can see Kaprizov is our star, Jack Hughes is their star, Stuart Skinner versus Chris Drieger, Kaprizov against his own team, actually, in the Minnesota Wild. So let's sim this game on the road. The color even changes. Very interesting. All right, first period, 1-0. There's Steven Stamkos. Lovely. Second period, 3-0, Doughty and Toffoli. And third period, 6-0 the final. How about that? A 40-save shutout from Stuart Skinner. Love that alliteration. Give us that big 6-0 victory on opening night. And now let's get to the halfway point of the challenge. Halfway through the challenge, and we sit second in the NHL right now with a record of 29-12-0, which give us a pace of 58-24-0. So we're just great when it comes to beyond regulation. 3.71 goals per game, 2.9 against, power play 19, pound kill 86.7. All right. Kirill Kaprizov on pace for 96 points. Love that. Forsberg, only 10 goals, on pace for 20 goals, on pace for 86 points. Stamkos point per game, that top line, that top 6 looking great. Toffoli 39, Raquel, Coyle, Burns, Tatar, Doughty. Here's everyone else with their point totals at the halfway mark. Pretty good plus minuses as well. And Stuart Skinner is 24-11-0 with 2 shutouts, 904 save percentage, and 3 goals against average, while Jonas Johansson has a 944 save percentage and 1.74 goals against average. Overalls mean nothing as always. All right, looking great at the halfway point. Let's see if we can maintain that pace and push for 60 wins after the second half. So the second half wasn't as strong, but we still finished 5th in the NHL with 51 wins, second most in the NHL. Not quite 58, but we'll take 51, 28-3 being our record. 3.59 goals for, 2.84 against, power play of 17.7, and pound kill of 84. So yeah, definitely a bit of a downgrade in the second half. Kaprizov doesn't quite hit the pace that he was on, but he still finishes with 95 points. Stamkos, 40 goals and 91 points from him. Toffoli, 80. Love that. Forsberg, 74. So the 16-11 of ice time. What is going on? That's why these challenges would have to be so hands-on, but it just becomes impossible. Raquel, Burns, Coyle, Tatar, 42 points, playing 12 minutes a night. Nice. Doughty, only 36 from the 88 overall. Niederreiter, Cizikas 32, Kapanen 29, Matheson, him too, only 25. The top pair D didn't produce as much as I would have thought they would. Kolesar, Clifton plus 24, Risto plus 20 with 15 points. Our dear beloved son scores 9 goals. Skinner goes 40, 25-1 with 6 shutouts. Wow, 908 save percentage and 2.87 goals against average. While Johansson went 11, 6-2 with 1 shutout of his own, 929 save percentage and 2.32 goals against. So with those regular season numbers now understood, let's move on to the postseason and see if the alliterative squad can actually become Stanley Cup champions. So let's start working through the playoffs here. Round 1 against the Hurricanes. Kaprizov versus Hintz. Skinner versus Swayman. Game 1 at home. Ooh, these take long to simulate. I'm going to have to just update you. 4-3 loss in Game 1. Let me skip ahead a few. We lost Games 1 and 2, then had a big 6-5 win in Game 3. Game 4, 7-1 loss. Now on the brink of elimination, down 3 games to 1. Stuart Skinner with an .877 save percentage and 4.74 goals against average. I said I wasn't going to be too hands-on, but of course this is the classic too high of an overall in the playoff conundrum. So let's go ahead and swap it to Johansson, who will start the next game, and let's see if he can go on a little bit of a tear now. So I gotta get used to these menus still. Advance a day, Game 5, hosting the Hurricanes. Hey, 5-4 overtime win. All right, we'll call it a dub. .927 save percentage for Johansson, so let's keep him in for more. Game 6 now, down 3 games to 2 in Carolina to push Game 7. There it is, 6-2 victory. Johansson with his .928 save percentage. It is like clockwork, ladies and gentlemen. A tale as old as time. So Game 7 of Round 1. Is this the end of the challenge, or can Jonas Johansson push the alliterative Blue Jacket squad through to Round 2? Game 7 in Carolina. Actually, no, in Columbus. In Columbus, 6-3 loss. No! We lose in round number 1. A strong 51-win season, but losing in round 1 of the playoffs, of course. So let's see the stats through those 7 games. They didn't seem too pretty from what I could see. Yeah, look at these plus minuses. What? 9 goals and 14 points from Kaprizov, doing his job. Stamkos 9, Forsberg, Toffoli, Burns all with 7. Raquel, Matheson, Doughty, Drew Doughty down here. Okay, at least there's an even plus minus. Only 2 assists from Doughty, though. And there you go. Goaltending. So Johansson 2-1 with an .894. That last game blew up his numbers. 3.55 goals against. And Skinner 1-2-1, .877 with a 4.74. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is the alliterative squad franchise mode challenge. Made it a pretty solid regular season, but of course got EA'd a little in the playoffs with the overall goalies and whatnot. The Hurricanes, were they a strong team at all? Hintz, Hagel, Nelson, Lundell, meh. Goaltending, Swayman. He didn't even look great either. .894 save. So there are the results of this challenge. We can go ahead and just sim the draft to just quickly see, did we win any awards or anything with this alliterative team? And by the way, the Hurricanes lost in 5 games in round 2 to the eventual Stanley Cup champion New York Islanders. There you go. And did we win any awards here in this universe? None. No. All right. So we'll call it a relative success for the alliterative squad. Let me know in the comments down below what franchise mode fantasy draft type challenge would you want to see next. If you continue, just wait a little bit of time, hopefully not more than another week, to begin our next franchise mode series and get into all the content we want to do here on NHL 25 as soon as the rosters get updated, so I can use that as a base to create my own rosters off of and change the salary caps for franchise mode and all those things that I usually do. So as soon as those are out, we'll be able to actually get into the content we want to put out here on NHL 25. But until then, let me know what you want to see. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and of course, subscribe to not miss out on anything. Guide videos, franchise modes, career simulations, and much, much more moving into NHL 25. I already did the franchise mode deep dive, the roster overview, so check those out in the end cards if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you once again in the next one.